everybody. Good evening. I am so excited to be here. Good evening. Um, no matter where you're coming from, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and thank you so much for being here. This is our third episode of the Speaker Economy Africa. My name is Nana Nwandu, and I'm the founder of Heard in Africa. And I'm delighted to welcome you again for the third time. Really, really excited. And I hope you have a great time. If this is your first time joining in, please make sure that you sit through the session. I promise you, it will be such a good time together. Okay. And if you're joining from Nigeria, from Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, wherever you're connecting from, thank you so much for being here. Okay. So to get to know Heard in Africa a bit more, the organization or the company that I am the founder, I like to say that Heard in Africa is building the infrastructure for the speaker economy in Africa. I'm just doing my intros because our amazing guest, Joyce Daniels, will be joining us shortly. Okay, so at Heard in Africa, we believe Africa doesn't have a speaker shortage. I feel that, and I believe, and there's evidence to back this up, that we have a systems shortage. We have incredible experts, subject matter experts, researchers, founders, executives, creators, policymakers, but too many of these voices are invisible, are unpaid, or disconnected from the stages where global conversations are happening. So, yes, Head in Africa, we manage speakers, we connect speakers, African speakers to global stages, we help event organizers manage their speakers and connect them to the right speakers that could give value and help them meet their event objectives. We're very proud of the work that we do. Ultimately, at Heard in Africa, we are building the African speaker economy. Okay, because speakers don't just need opportunities, they need an ecosystem. So, the name of this LinkedIn Live series is the Speaker Economy Africa. And like I said, this is our third edition, and I'm really excited. This is our money edition. We're talking about money, the value of your voice, when to walk away, when to, pursue an opportunity, when to show up. But now we are zooming in on money. But let's take it back a bit. What is the speaker economy? Why did I name this series the speaker economy? When people hear the phrase speaker economy, they often assume it's simply about getting booked, but it's much bigger than that. The speaker economy includes everyone who makes professional speaking possible. The speakers, speaker managers, speaker bureaus, event organizers, conference producers, corporate buyers, universities, government agencies, event technology, sponsors, etc. When all these pieces work together, speakers build careers, events become stronger, ideas travel, and industries grow. And so that's why we are investing, that's why we are intentionally having conversations about this ecosystem, the speaker economy in Africa. Okay? So every conversation we have here is leading to something bigger, it's a part of something bigger. Every insight, statistic, challenge, lesson feeds into our annual Speaker Economy Africa Impact Report, which will be developing to document the realities of Africa's speaking industry for the first time. Because here's the truth, we cannot improve what we have not documented. We don't have, we can't even understand what we have not paid close attention to. And we need to understand how this industry works. And Heard in Africa is stepping forward to solve the problem, to provide documents, to provide information for everyone that is a key player in Africa's speaker economy. So if you're here, thank you, thank you, thank you again. And so tonight, we are tackling one of the most uncomfortable conversations in the speaking industry. And like I said, we are talking about money. Okay? And more specifically, when should you speak for free? When should you charge? And how do you know the difference? Because somewhere between it's good exposure and what your fee is, many African speakers are stuck. Okay. And some are leaving money on the table, others are saying yes to every invitation because they don't know when to say no. Okay, our guest is here. They don't know when to say no. And tonight, I'm hoping to give you a practical framework to make those decisions, okay? And our guest tonight couldn't be better suited for this conversation. I'm really excited. She is Joyce Daniel. She's known by many as the Queen of Talk. And
Woo!
I mean, she has over the past 18 years, she's built an extraordinary career as one of Africa's leading masters of ceremonies, working with governments, multinationals, corporations, organizations across industries. She's an executive speaking coach. See, I remember meeting her at her the money making mouth conference, and I was like, oh my god, this energy. For me, it's such a privilege because you know, Joyce she literally is a veteran. She has built out this industry and she's experienced the tension between speaking for exposure and speaking for value. She's navigated the difficult conversation around pricing, positioning, and profile growth. And that's exactly why we are here to unpack today. So, Joyce, welcome to
Yes.
Speaker Economy Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nana. Thank you, Heard in Africa, for having me. It's my joy, it's my delight, it's my purpose, it's my calling. So you have me. Please use me well. I always have used this phrase for myself. We came empty, we will leave empty. So when we can't take any knowledge or anything with us. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful. And thank you for giving me the leeway of the time to set up.
Thank you so much, Joyce. I understand. And I mean, like I said, I remember when I invited you and you said yes. Oh my God, I was screaming. I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh. And for me, for me, it was just so very inspiring. I'm like, I hope I get to that point where no matter how successful I am, no matter what rooms I've entered, I can always just look back and just, pay it forward for someone who is just, building that dream. And also, thank you so much, Joyce, again.
You're most welcome. I live for this. You're welcome. Thank you
Thank
for
you. So,
inviting me.
no problem. So today's topic is very, very important, and I just want you to take me back, right? Your journey from free to paid, or if you ever had such a journey, you know, um, tell us what it was like. No polishing, a personal story. When did you start speaking? When did you've been an OG, MC, when did how did you navigate the free, you always start with, oh, do it for free, exposure versus, I want to get paid. How did you navigate that when your
Yes.
journey just started?
Thank you. I always like to say that I had help. From day one, I was paid. I decided I had been a master of ceremonies on stage from age 10. And for 15 years, through secondary school, uni, and post uni, I had emceed events as a hobby, never ever thinking for one day that it could be my profession. But on that Sunday, the 11th of November 2007, I had emceed an event just to MC an event. And the accolades were real. And I said, these people giving me these accolades know me from nowhere. So they're saying the truth. When something comes naturally to you, you take it for granted. That's
Mm,
why it feels like nothing because it's almost like you're making no effort. And so I decided immediately right there that this was going to be my full-time job. Now, that event, I was paid because it was an event planner, Ndidi Obioha of Enthist Events, that got me that job. They didn't pay cash. They gave me products. It was the launch of sleek hair and makeup. So they gave me makeup, they gave me distributorship of the makeup, and they gave me hair. What they did not know was I was also part-time a makeup artist. So the makeup was helping my makeup artist business. I got distributorship for free. At that time, to become a distributor, I think you needed to pay 43,000. This was 2007. They gave me a free pass. So I could buy at distributor's rate. From that day, I was in business. Right there, one of Ndidi's clients was having a wedding for her child the next Saturday. This was a Sunday. Saturday was going to be her client's child wedding, which she was already the event planner for. And they had paid Okay Bakassi to be the MC. And the woman said, "Oh my God, this is your golden voice. I want this your golden voice at that my daughter's wedding. Oh, we're finished spending all the money. We don't have anything, no, but we will tell you thank you. Ndidi, this girl has to come." Now, backstory, this was November 2007, right? I had quit my job in April. At that time, when I quit my job in April, my monthly salary was either 50 or 70K, something like that. This woman took me into her event. I co-emceed with Okay Bakassi, finished the event. She came to me, pushed something in my purse and said, "Please, we don't have any money left. We have spent so much, but we just had to give you this one to say thank you." It was in the taxi on my way home, I realized it was 50K they put in there, my 1 month salary before. So all I could think of was like, for that thing, what do you do when they give you money? Like, you just wanted to have fun. You met Okay Bakassi, Basket Mouth, and who was the other third person with them? You had fun with them. You gisted, you ate their food, you ate their small chops and their desserts, and they're giving you 50K. That was your 1 month salary. By the next week, Ndidi Obioha was taking me to another event where they paid about 110,000 or something at that time. Twice my salary. Like, what?
What?
Well, in my case, I didn't really struggle to earn. By December, this was November. By December, I was already earning 250K. 2007. So later, did I meet some clients who would say, "Oh, do it for free. We're giving you platform." Yes. But I had already begun to earn. That's the difference. So I always like to show that I didn't, as it were, rise from zero. I had help. Ndidi Obioha gave me the job that was already paying. So whenever I was asked to work for free, it was a decision for me to make. If I'm working, so I always say there's no such thing as working for free, first of all. You're always working for something. Am I working? And there are 4 things I say that you can have in lieu of cash, of money. First is experience. So this is not about what the client is saying they're offering you. It's about what you want to take away from the place. I'm going to work at this event because I want the experience of doing something with the Navy. I've never done any work with the Navy. So if they say they don't have money to pay me or they don't have my regular fee, I want the experience of working with the Navy. I want to experience the Navy protocol. I want to know what happens in there. So that's the first thing. Second thing is working for network. I need to go into this Navy space or naval space because they have some very senior ogas there who, when they invite you for their own event, they will pay you well. But as a group, they may not pay a lot of money because that happens a lot. Associations, a lot of associations, if MCs don't know already or speakers, many associations don't have money, they don't have budgets. But as individual organizations that make up their association, they pay. So it's okay to go do the job, to be in the space of the association, knowing that you'll get the payment when you work with them, hoping that the referrals do come. So network, you want to be in the network. So it is not, I want to be close listening or watching this. It should never be about what they're offering you. It's about what you are taking away. So I'm going to go into that. I'm going to that event and I will leave with the network. The third thing is marketing materials. I am going there so I can get photos, videos, testimonials that I can use to market my service going forward. And finally, number 4 is love. I love this cause. I love what they do. And therefore, I want to work whether they pay me there or not. In 2026, I've worked for love.
Mm.
2026. There's a woman who I see her as a role model. I've seen her as a role model since 2017 when I met her for the first time. It just, you meet some people and it's just this thing. And so I stumbled on the fact that she was having an event and I reached out to her. I said, ma'am, did I hear you're having this event? Let me know here under the sun that anybody else is your MC and I'm not asking you for 1 naira. I've loved you from when I've met you, from when I met you. And if this is the way I can serve you and honor you, I want to do it. And that was it. And yes, the event finished and they still asked for account details. She was like, I know, Joyce, you had said you won't send an invoice, but please send us your account details. Let's just appreciate, we can't let you. And I'm like, well, she insisted, she now called. And so for me, that was love. I wanted to honor her. And over time, I've learned a few things from her that I felt this is my own way of saying thank you to her for all she has done in my life without her knowing. That's my story so far.
Wow. And I love because I had follow-up questions and you found a way to answer everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was going to ask you,
Oh,
okay. I mean, and I love it. It's
still
perfect.
ask
Like,
it. No, still ask. There might be another angle to it.
yeah, because the follow-up question was, what's the framework for free speaking, right? Because sometimes, like, if you've ever been there, and especially for women as well, or for anyone building a career or trying to thrive in a space that is I don't want to say overly saturated or where you have already the top dogs, you have Joyce Daniels, and you're trying to like make your way up, and they're like, oh, do it for free, right? There's that insecurity, and there's still that uncertainty. If I say no, what happened? I might not have this opportunity again. So for you, from your lens, it looks like, oh, like there's a confidence you have, so you can, you have you have the four things you look out for. But what happens to someone who is just starting and they have those fears?
So
What
I
if this is the
have,
only chance I get? Mm.
yeah. That's why you had to ask the question because there's more to say about it. With MCing, as with almost any other business or almost any other venture, there might be a time where you need to scaffold. Scaffolding is a temporary structure that is put in place to support the building of the main structure. When you see story buildings come up, or even when somebody's working on a bungalow, when they want to do the roof, they put scaffolds that they can stand on. So they do the roof, do the painting, and after all of that, they take the scaffolds down. Scaffolding in business is doing other things that can pay you while the main thing is still being developed. I did scaffold. Remember, I was a makeup artist.
Mhm.
I was in network marketing for some time. My training was not necessarily a scaffold. It's the other side of me that I love. I have almost, I can say, equal love for as being on stage as a master of ceremonies. And officially, I started both of them in the same November 2007. So training is not a scaffold, it's the second love. So you could
Mm.
have another love. Many of us love more than one thing. It is how can you schedule to serve both ways. It takes a lot of introspection. And then, even if it's not something you love and it's something you are good at, that you can scaffold until the thing you love and are good at becomes a thing. It might take time. And I wish there was a way to tell you how long it would take, but we don't know. And it might take time, but it might not take time. That's the thing. I was in the car coming just now, driving. I told you we spoke. I was driving crazy. Somebody called me and she sent a screenshot. So when we're at the red light, I read what was in her screenshot. And she said, I bragged about you to my boss. He wants to see you next week. He's the MD of one of these big companies. And he has a dream about this and that and that. And so I told him it is Joyce that has to do it. I have not spoken with that lady in over 6 years. How could I ever have imagined that somebody would call me today to tell me that I'm meeting with her boss, who I've only seen him on stage. I've never met him privately before. I know him from papers and news, and then introduced him on stage once. In fact, many times when his organization is there, it's one of their GMs or executive directors that is there, not him. But somebody just fought a battle for me. So, how can I tell you when your breakthrough will be? Nobody has that say. Because you might just be
Yeah.
on it and next thing somebody calls you and says, hey. So the
Hmm.
mantra for that is, if I just keep showing up, life will pay
Hmm.
me. If
Hmm.
I just keep showing up, life will pay me. In fact, let me take away the word just. If I keep showing up, life will pay me. Using the word saturated, this our industry is not yet saturated. Though. As you and I are speaking on this call, in almost every event center in Lagos alone, there's an event going on right now. Who is the MC there? Who are the MCs there? You and I are on a live. That's not saturation. There are birthday parties going on in people's homes as we speak. There are showers, bridal showers and baby showers going on in Airbnbs as we speak. Somebody is master of ceremonies there that they might have paid or given transport money. We're not yet saturated. In fact, we don't have enough yet. The truth is, we still, for top-notch professionals, we still have just a few. Imagine when we have so many more. So,
Yeah.
no, we're not yet saturated. It's just that, yeah, with social media and everything, you have some names you see all the time, or,
Yeah.
it's, we never saturate at all. At Echo Hotel, when there's an event going on in one hall, there are at least 5 other halls where events are going on. Who is working there? Right? And I can say
Mm-hmm.
the same for almost every other event venue. Then should we go outside Lagos? Should we go outside VI? Should we go outside Ikoyi and Lekki? Should we talk about Lagos as a state, not just the small cities? There are events going on in Yaba, in Surulere, in Igondo. There are events going on there. Who is working there? And make no mistake, because there are some doing so well and earning so well, it
Yeah.
trickles down, it cascades.
Hmm.
If Alibaba in 2007 wasn't earning 1.5, 2.5 million in 2007, I won't have been able to earn 200,000 because some people don't have the 2.5 million or didn't have the 2.5 million to pay him in 2008. They were willing to now pay me 250,000. Who dashed me before? So there
Yeah.
is always a benefit to it. So when
Yeah.
somebody says, oh, I can't afford Joyce Daniels because she's this, but I can afford you, it's because there was me that you now have this. And I
Yeah.
don't take it for granted. I remember the first time I met Alibaba, I said, if your bill was not so high, I won't have business
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
because everybody would have been able to afford you and they won't look for me.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
can't reach you. They've agreed to work with me. Then they realize how good I am and then they're happy they have me. So there's advantage. I see the advantages. The reason why we have so many more thriving MCs today is because there are so many more of us thriving at the top. We open more
Yeah.
doors for others with the
Yeah.
training, conversations like this, mentorships. We're doing good.
Wow. I mean, I love what you said about showing up, right? And, why it's so important to me that you said this. At Heard in Africa, we are all about speakers, managing event speakers, connecting African speakers to global stages. And sometimes, when I speak to people who are, hey, they want to build their speaking business, they always have this idea that the payments will start immediately. But that's not true. I, I mean, sometimes it could happen, I think,
Yes.
but I think that just
Yes.
like you said, keep showing up. There are time, and if we use the four, what was it, the fourth criteria you just set out now, you'd
Yes.
realize that
Yes.
even if you're not getting paid, you're going to be paid in
Cash
a
in
different
other
way.
ways.
Right, exactly. And there's someone I was talking to a speaker manager. She was one of our first guests, and she in America. And she was saying that with this industry, you have to just keep building your reps. The more you show up, you get to that point where you're earning and making that money consistently because you've been showing up, right? So I guess for me, I'm taking away experience, network, marketing materials, love, choose what exactly is your payment at this stage where you're not getting the cash as consistently as you hope to get, right?
The other thing I would like to add quickly
Mm-hmm.
is that
Mm-hmm.
in 2026,
Mm-hmm.
it is less likely you're not getting cash than 6 years ago. You are
Mm,
more likely going to get some cash. What you may not get might be the kind of cash you really want or
mm,
need. The economy is not smiling at anybody, so you might
mm,
need your needs are more, right? You need
mm,
a lot more to, as it were, make ends meet. So you might
mm.
be expecting to earn this amount, or you have heard that in the industry people can
Yeah,
earn this amount. So because of that, your expectation is here, right?
yeah.
So when somebody offers you this, it's almost as if you didn't earn. Don't do that to yourself.
Mm,
Get into the habit of holding yourself and say, I give myself credit. I celebrate myself for how hard I'm trying.
mm,
And if you continue to show up, the universe will pay me. The
mm,
earth will
mm,
pay me. So give yourself accolades for even showing up at all. Don't fall into the trap of complaining. That's something I've never done. And I mean it. People around me say you can never know when Joyce has or she doesn't have because it will
mm.
never show on my face. And you would never, my language does not change and has never changed, because there are things I've understood about how God and the universe work, how He has made it work. So don't, you said the words, our worlds are created by our words. So don't
Yeah,
use your words to create the
yeah,
world you don't want. Use your words to create the world you do want. I am
yeah.
grateful that somebody thought it wise. Somebody could release this 200,000 to give me in exchange for the thing that I could have done for free that I'm so good at.
Mm,
Ah, I celebrate. This is where you also now learn real business values. Can't use everything that comes in. You have to plan for, take away, what do you call it, instant gratification. All those things we hear, they're real. They're
mm,
real, right? Somebody will say, but Joyce, they're expenses, they're clothes I have to wear, they're this. Well, I still, it's a whole lecture about self. In
yeah.
2018, in 2018, I wore 6 dresses, 6 from January to December. If I
Wow.
no tell you, no go know.
Wow.
If I no tell you, you no go know. 6. I was trying to discipline myself. So it was, this money is going to go to other things, but not this. And I'm
Mm,
going to condition my mind to the point where if I decide to wear one outfit the whole year, I'll be fine. I
wow.
have it. That's, see, you see my chest full. See what I'm wearing today. This is what I wore to training today, and I wore to a meeting this afternoon, strategy meeting. I wore this a few days ago. Best believe I probably wear it on Tuesday or Wednesday next week again. I can wear it every day if I like. And it's not because of where I am now. It's how I condition my mind from a long time ago so that I am at peace regardless. Yes, in the place of business, it's not best when you look a certain way, this and that. But I always say everybody define success for yourself. Success for me first is peace of mind.
Mm,
It's very high on my list of values. So what is success to you? For some people, it has to be the money in the bank. I have people who are close to me that success is money. So identify which one is you and then start asking other questions. If it is money and I'm not making it fully from this speaking, then what else should I be doing or can I be doing to make the money while this is growing? So it's a balancing act.
yeah. Wow. I mean, I don't even know. I have so many questions to ask in between.
Please
But
fire away.
you know, to be very honest with you, Joyce, working in this industry and also, you know, zooming in on the speaker economy in Africa, I can tell you that there's no structure, right? And when we talk about speaking, be it the subject matter experts, be it the the masters of ceremony, everyone that is on that stage giving value. I have seen that it's not the same as it is abroad here. And I feel and I want to know your thoughts. Is it that we don't see value in knowledge, right? You can have a conference and you pay your DJ, pay the MC. No, sorry, it's not the MC. Pay the food vendors, but then
The DJ,
those
the
who the main
photographer.
exactly the main people who would impact your audience and ensure that the objectives of your theme are met are not paid. And because I've also worked behind the scenes and I know that yes, indeed, these people don't actually have the budget. How do how do we navigate that? Because this is a real challenge in Africa. It's not just Nigeria, it's an
Yeah.
African problem.
You've started solving the problem already with your speaker management business, for example. In the next 6 years, you would have brought some structure into the space. We are a virgin land, so anybody who pioneers sets the tone. Those democracies or those countries are older than us in terms of what we call civilization now. Our civilization before was valid, though, before colonization, make no mistake about it. The things we had, they are now trying to take us back there. Mud houses are now more, what do you call it? They're now better for the climate. Mud houses now have more air. Now they're trying to make sure people are building with what I mean. We should be drinking from clay pots. We should say, make no mistake. What we had, because our history was not properly tied together for you and I,
Mm.
we don't know existed before colonization. What we know is that we're trying to catch up since colonization to people who had been in a way of life for a long time. So it's not value for education, it's fitting into the, for lack of a better term, the white man's lifestyle. We exchanged value. We had our cowries and our other ways of exchanging value and educating our communities besides what we call orthodox learning now. So let's know that what we had was taken from us. And if we don't have what was documented, then we don't know what was there. It was at the book launch of, what's this lady's book? Like 3 years ago, that I got to know that back in the day, and she quoted from 1400s and this and that in Africa, it was in charge of finances because the men would go to war and the women were the ones who kept the pot and blah, blah, blah. So in quotes, the women were the breadwinners, the men were the fighters, which is how it is in the animal kingdom. The lionesses are the hunters. In the animal kingdom, mostly it's the females who hunt for food while the men make sure everybody is safe and they fight for territorial command. We had it. We are now trying to go back there after going around the Igbo master. So when someone like you has the desire for it, you start putting structure to it, because in orthodox learning, there's no MCing in any university in the world. There's no speaking. Any speaking academy you have was formed by somebody to try and close a gap across the world. So yes, there's communication in university, but it's not only about public speaking, you see. So we are creating, in another 10 years, in one higher institution, they just might be MCing as a diploma program because you and I are pushing the agenda. We know the conversations we're having with different schools right now under either the enterprise development programs or something to say you should have been, comparing mastering ceremony as a diploma program, a 2-year program where and you attach people for, we're having those conversations, but that's because you and I are already in there solving the problem. It might take time, but it's been fixed. It's not because we despise knowledge. We actually are a knowledge consuming, guzzling country, guzzling continent. Look at the churches or the religious organizations. And I'm talking about church because I'm a Christian. I know that it happens in the Muslim faith and all this, but let me speak about the one I'm very sure of. Nobody shares knowledge like churches. Always bringing guest speakers from everywhere. And I mean across board. In the Catholic Church, you will see that sometimes they bring Father this from Mexico to come talk to us on so and so. in the Anglican, in the Pentecostal, they are bringing this person, they are bringing that person. Now churches are organizing business summits. See, we consume and we value it because we give offering in churches to say thank you for this thing I got. But there's an evolution taking place. We are, the people in the airplane are the ones that don't know how fast they're moving because
True.
they're sitting down. The others are seeing the plane go by. So we're evolving. It's when our history is being told that you realize what you and I have been able to do in bringing structure into this industry. I'm proud of us. I'm very proud of us. I'm proud of you. I spent some time on your page, was it yesterday, to see, and I was like, oh, she's doing this. Look, this girl is changing the face. And give her 7 years, give her 10 years, give her 20 years. And it would be like, oh, there's so many people in it. They didn't know that you were paying the price.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank you. It means
I
so
want us to
much.
see it through this lens. You
Yeah,
are
and I'm just like, wow, like I didn't see, and it's so encouraging. And Joyce,
before
I had
you,
to,
I had never heard of speaker management in Nigeria. I know about it from South Africa.
hmm
I've never heard of speaker management in Nigeria. I think there's even some guy who does it in Kenya. But
but I mean,
here you
Joyce,
are.
I just have to say that this is the energy that you give. Like, I remember coming for your conference, and I know it was about speaking and making money. I remember just leaving, feeling so liberated. I remember telling a friend at that conference, like, I came for A, but I left with B. Like, Joyce just has something about her, and I just like, wow, like I'm getting that here again. And
I'm
thank
glad.
you so much. Yes, and
We look for it.
just just to go back to speaking, right? So you've talked about the four things that you test.
Yeah.
You've talked about the four things that you test, right?
Yes.
So when and there are people who, okay, at what point do you now, is there a red flag that, hey, this you're speaking for free, we need to check it. If there's a signal that there's a problem, is it a comfort or fear? When do you start advising your mentees, those who look up to your, yeah.
From day one, when some people from day one, not from I don't wait anymore. Maybe I waited many, 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 many years ago. Now it's from day one. You said you want to MC. They called you to MC an event. What did you tell them you charge? I want to hear what you said. And some people say, well, I told them what they should give me what they had. And I said, what did you say? Why did you do that? Why didn't you say this is my fee? Ah, Chedi, but I'm just starting. I say, see, so the challenge is not the people outside, it's you. You didn't ask. Ask and you shall receive. You have not because you ask not. Isn't that John something, John 10:10 or John something, where it says, you have not because you ask not. So I said, if you said, give us what you have, and they gave you 50,000, why are you sad?
Hmm.
You didn't say, give me 400,000, and they said, we don't have. You said, you created your world by your words. Because I know that we are primarily raised for a working class, with working class mentality, factory style, go to school, sit in rows, right? We're not raised typically with an entrepreneurial mindset for wealth. Many of us, including myself, struggle with talking about money the way we want. And I'm really meaning more of women than others. Because the boy, from when he's small, he's told, see, you're going to take care of this family very soon. So he's already in a hunting state where he knows he has to bring the bacon, he has to bring the bread. So he's asking because he knows he has 6 people in his house to take care of, plus his girlfriend or his wife. So he's asking for more. We are usually used to receiving. So we're asking for little because it's just enough for me. But when you start thinking about the fact that you need to take care of these people, take care of that, do this for yourself, and you know what, I want to have it because I want to have it, then your mind opens. I'm not sure that we have a paying problem.
Hmm.
We have more of an asking problem.
Hmm.
My experience, my
Hmm.
mentee, I said, show me what you messaged them. See, I
Hmm.
told them to give me 200K. And then they said what they had was 100. And I go, so next time, tell them to give you 600K. So they might tell you that what they had is 300. If that's the trend, Abby, receive
Yeah.
things. And this is a conversation I have with myself. I change my
Mm.
rate card every year, but I know that there's sometimes, even this year, that to send my rate card to a particular organization, I was like, would they even have this money to pay me? I said, Joyce, what's your business? Send the bloody rate card. And then they came back and said, oh, okay, we may not be able to pay this, but we'll pay. And what they asked for was about 95%. I said, so it's just because they needed to negotiate. I told my team, I'm not sure I want to wait till next year. By this October, by September-ish, I want to change my rate card again. I'm ready. I'm ready because there's proof that I can ask for more.
Yeah.
They would always ask for a discount anyway. Might as well just keep
Yeah.
taking. So when would I ask you to stop working for free? From the day you decide this is not a hobby,
Mm.
this is okay.
Mm. Mm.
Determine what you want to ask for and ask for it. And when you have more courage, more confidence, and accolades, because you finish an event, you always listen to the side of stage conversations, what people say to you when you come down from stage. Oh man, that was so good. Oh, this. But if they just tell you, thank you, Ed, thank you, try, thank you, it means you were not exceptional. You were okay. You were okay, but not exceptional. But if the
Yeah.
words, words shape everything. If the words were, oh my God, you were phenomenal, you're this, it means you can add more.
Yeah.
If you ask for 500 today and everybody, oh my God, you're the best thing since sliced bread, eh? Add more, add 50%, add 100%. So if you don't ask, you won't know. Just test, ask because you're testing. Let's. I've gotten to the phase where I'm also less afraid to ask. Yes, I'm asking for a whole lot more numbers or more zeros, and I'm having fun with it. There's some people who have reached out to me this year, and I give them a figure, and I was like, the worst they would say is this, but I even said what was not in my read card.
Wow. Wow.
I
So,
said
so,
something was here that one was in my read card just to try. It's okay to push myself.
okay, I mean, so now tell me practically, for anyone listening now, how can they have that
Yes.
conversation about money? Like, if I came to you now and like, Joyce, they've come to me now, please tell me what to say. Like, I'm about to type it, I'm about to call them, and like you said, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you're scared. There's that scarcity mindset. What would you tell me to say?
First, I would ask you, what are you comfortable to ask for? Because comfort is key. Comfort is important because you might be asked to come into a negotiation. If you ask for something you are not comfortable with and you're called into a negotiation, you will collapse. So I'll say, what are you comfortable to ask for? What's the highest figure you're comfortable to ask for? I've done it with my mentees, and one of them said, I'm very comfortable to ask for 800,000. I said, fine. So ask for 1.2. So that if you are negotiating, you can comfortably say, you know what, give me 800. So I ask for comfort levels. And depending on your experience, your desire, your all the things you've learned, the books you've read, the exposure you've had, our comfort levels will be different regardless of age and maybe even regardless of experience. But somebody might say, I'm comfortable to ask for 1.5 because they have lived in a household where other people earn 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So like, the least they can give me is 1.5. But somebody who is coming from a household where they've never seen 1.5 bulk, they might not even be able to imagine it. So I can't tell them to ask for 1.5. I'll kill them. It means when they're going to negotiation, they will be petrified. They would, oh my God, when they now say, but this your money is too much, okay, just give me anything. You see, they've come back to zero. So I wouldn't give you a figure. I would ask for your comfort level. Two, I would ask you to make that comfort level a document, your rate card. So if you're comfortable to ask for 1.5, I would say put 2.5 in your rate card because it is our behavior, whether we like it or not, whether we can afford it or not, it's our behavior to ask for discounts. So since we already know the situation in which we are,
Yeah.
we do that. Yes, I've heard, somebody was telling me, oh, this person, he doesn't ever discount, everybody knows. I said, well, he didn't get there by chance. Before, I always like to work with context.
Mm.
Before people began to ask him to MC their events, they used to hear him on radio and TV.
Mm.
So he had leverage It's called
Mm,
leverage. So this person that I'm telling you, I'm saying to you, you cannot have a discount. What's your leverage?
mm,
Nobody has heard you, nobody knows you. So what is that leverage? So don't compare. That's why comparison is a dangerous thing. And that's why I can't tell you to do what I'm doing because you don't know what's in my head. I have attended so many wealth classes. I am still being coached in wealth. I have a wealth coach. I attend wealth programs because I'm still reprogramming my mind. I've done this for almost 10 years. In fact, more than 10 years because I'm always trying to up. The way I behave with money in 2026 is different from how I behaved with money in 2025. My mission in 2026 was to do less, get more. Do less, get more. I have done less in 2026. I've already passed my revenue of 2025 in April. But that required some level of business strategy, one or two
mm.
people on the team, some thinking. So I can't just give you a number. I can kill you doing that because you're not me.
Yes, yes.
So I'll ask you what you're comfortable with.
And I like that you said this because it also has to do with mindset, like you said.
Yeah.
There's a way that you re-engineer your mind, and the way you show up, the way you ask for things, it's just clear that your mindset, you know.
In
And
2025,
mhm.
I began to intentionally keep company with people who were raised rich.
Mm,
I intentionally, I'm not even mincing words, people who were raised in wealth. I intentionally began to collect them as friends and acquaintances to hang around them because they I was raised into an average family, what do you call middle class,
mhm.
right? So there's a way my mind already was shaped. And there are people who were raised in wealth that in the 80s they were traveling abroad for holidays, business class in the 80s, not now. So they don't understand what it means to travel economy. Like they're not trying to impress anybody. So they don't
Yeah.
get it. So when they're negotiating, there are certain figures they've never heard of. Hey, somebody is asking for 2 million to do business. What kind of business is that? Because they only know tens and hundreds. And she was talking about this session. So I told them it's $86,000. I started keeping them intentionally. I'd always have people like that around me, but now I'm keeping them closer. I'm like, Joyce, you sent me this thing, and I saw that was only $40,000 you asked for a 3-week engagement. How? Like she can't understand it because it's out of her understanding. She's like, please change it to 84. Like, what are you saying? In fact, you should be asking for $200,000. No way you're saying. I need them. So they will be injecting it into me. And they will laugh when they say, this whole budget, Joyce, you were saying you're doing budget. It's 30 million you're talking about. I've had somebody say to me, like, that budget, you say you were doing budget for this thing. You mean it's 30 million? Joyce, please don't insult me now. Me, if I can give you the money, you take it. Don't tell anybody outside that you are looking for fundraising for 30 million. Joyce. Hey, they owe you. So
Wow.
I don't feel bad when, and there's a particular friend of mine who said that to me last year. We're trying to raise money for an event, and our budget was about 30 something million. And I was saying, oh, we're looking for sponsors. And she's like, don't you shout them outside. Only me self give you that money. So conditioning, I want to be conditioned different. I want to be
Yeah.
conditioned. And it's for me, once again, my goal is not just money. There's more. I want peace of mind. In fact, my mantra is to live a whole, healthy, happy, and fulfilled life. Whole, healthy, happy, fulfilled. So this thing is going to make me feel whole, healthy, happy, and fulfilled. If the answer is yes, I'm going for it. But if it doesn't make me feel that way, then I can let it pass or let it slide. So I want us to be able to think beyond what is on that paycheck, as much as that's very important. I go back to what's most important to you and how do you want to get there. If you need to go to business school, go to business school. If you can't go
Mhm.
to a very expensive business school, find one so you can learn more about business. I found that the more I know about business, the better I'm handling business and the better numbers, better zeros I'm asking for. I was like, wow, in 2024, we're talking about a six-figure business. I'm like, I left 8 figures. I even left 8 figures. I'm heading towards 10 figures because all these things are happening. So there's no one way. I don't like anybody to say, oh, this is the only way Joyce Daniel said it. There are different ways to the market, but you have to find what works for you and do it with courage and give thanks every day. Count your blessings, not your troubles.
Yeah. And just like you said, just hug yourself and tell yourself, well done for showing up,
Well
right?
done.
I
You're
will do,
trying.
I
Well
definitely
done.
will do that to myself.
Yeah, yeah, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I am allowed to be work in progress. So there are 10 of them. Today is going to
Mm,
be a great day. Something
mm,
cool is going to happen for me. I say something cool is going to happen to me and for me. I'm allowed to be work
mm,
in progress. Whatever happens today, I
mm,
can handle it. If I keep
mm,
showing up, the world, the universe will pay me. Destiny will pay me.
mhm,
What's the next one now? It is I said one of them just now. I'm allowed to be work in progress. Whatever what comes my way, I can handle it. There are a few others. I have it
mhm.
just by my bed, so I like stand up. That's the first thing I see on the wardrobe by my
Yeah,
bed. So I go over them. I
yeah,
remind myself that
yeah.
we're good.
And just in the spirit of telling us what to say when we have these, we are met with some awkward situations we personally find awkward or uncomfortable. What happens when an event organizer says we don't have a budget? How do you
I
handle that?
always ask, you don't have a budget. That's okay. What do you want to offer me? So I come from two ways. Many times I say, okay, this is my rate card. In fact, sometimes, depending on who is handling the conversation, if it's somebody on my team, they say, why do you come to Joyce Daniels? Why do you want Joyce Daniels? What difference would Joyce Daniels make for your event? So they establish value and they go, oh, we saw her at this place and she was this. Oh, fine. Oh, you've seen her at work. This. Here's her rate card. And they go, yeah, we know, but we don't really have a budget. So how do you want to bring her on board? What's your plan? Now, what we even do, we send the proof of payment of that place you said you saw her. See what those people
Mm,
paid. The least you can do is match it.
mm,
Oh, the least we send everything, proof of payment. Say, see what they paid. See the invoice. See the day they paid. See the trail of messaging. And they go, oh wow, they paid this where you saw her. And so they now say, okay, we'll get back to you. And many times they come back and say, okay, can we pay the same thing? There, we can start there. And then sometimes it all, and it's still, there's still no one way. And I'm saying this because there's still a few people who've come and we've said, this is the rate card, this is the rate, this is the rate.
mm,
Somebody said, but that's subjective. Yeah, we're humans, we're subjective. And I go, for this
mhm,
organization, I would only take my full rate. If they won't pay my full rate, forget
mm,
it. Because
mm,
from history, I've seen that when they leave this year, they come back next year and say, hey, where's that your rate, safe?
mm,
And the rate would have changed and then they pay it in full. For certain organizations, I'm ready. I've walked away from a number of them that have come back now and I saying, okay, let's give you, because they've seen me again and again. And then one Oga or madam has seen me and they say, why aren't we working with this lady? And they say, our money is plenty. They say, how come we can't pay? Don't you know we're the greatest and the biggest? In fact, one, the guy
mm.
told us, I said, how, when my team members told me we couldn't afford you, I said, that's an insult to us. That's an insult. It's an indictment on us. I say, yes, it's an indictment on you. Pay the money. Are there times when I have to call somebody? Yes. Oh, yes, with my full chest. I wasn't doing it before, but now when I hear some conversations going on with my team and they say, oh, these people called and this and that, I say, who do I know that knows somebody there? And I call and I say, I hear somebody, your team, somebody in your organization, this team is trying to speak to us on this. And somebody is trying to say there's no budget and this and that. And the guy, no, 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 they can't say that. Let me hold on, Joyce. Let me confirm what is really on the budget. And they go, there's this, we can do this. And you know that they will must try and shake you up and negotiate. So, you know what, let me just call. So, look, before I'd have said, oh, well, let things work out themselves. Now, I call you, except I don't know anybody. I call somebody who calls somebody, say, who do you know in there? Because it's business. And it's life. If you wanted to gain admission, you will call and call and call. So why not for your own business? If I wanted to be hired for a job, I will call and call. This is me still being hired for a job. So let's call a spade and not a farm tool. Let's be clear about how life is done and not run away. And now we also pitch. For the longest time, I wasn't pitching for work.
Mm,
Now we've started pitching, and I'm pitching for what I really want.
mm,
And I'm very clear that not everybody's my client. There's some conversations I don't want. Remember, I want to do less and get more.
mm-hmm,
I'm already
mm-hmm.
seeing the proof of it. So the energy I have now is with or without you in it.
Yeah,
I grew
yeah,
there. I grew
yes,
there.
you do,
And
yes.
some people will have it from day one, so it's okay. So I
Mm,
no longer say you must grow there. You might have it from day one. I say with or without your energy. That's fine.
mm, mm. Wow, Joyce. I mean, this session has just been so good, so so good.
I'm
And
glad.
I mean, I'm just looking at the time, like, oh my God, how is it already? It's almost time. How? Okay, so
Yes.
I have one question before the last question. Just tell
That's
me
fine.
about this. Tell me about this color green. You know, and you're always in stunning green. I'm like, I need to see. Is it a secret? Should other speakers like also have their own color look? Like, tell me the backstory. I've always wanted to ask.
2014, a government organization, a state government called me to work for them, and I gave them a government bill. And I heard the Lord say to me some days later, when I'm dealing with those who are sharing the national cake, you'll be part of them. And I was like, why? What did I do? Oh my God. Me who prays for Nigeria and all. He said, what you build the government and what you build private sector are worlds apart. Why do you do that? That's you trying to collect your national cake. I said, Father, but it's not supposed to be that deep now. So from that day, I said, give me a clear instruction. What do you want me to do? He said, government is to serve people, not to collect. So from now on, when government calls you, you tell them what your regular rate is and you accept whatever they offer. So whatever? I said, yes. Tough to swallow. Long story short, I then decided that anytime I was to work for government, I would wear green
Mm,
or white, the colors of the flag, to remind me why I do what I do.
wow.
And so from 20 what now? From 2015, I began to wear green to government functions. Trying to get my charger. The battery here is crying out. And then one day, my son asked me. He asked me something. I think I'm mixing something up now. Okay, okay. Some other government organization came later to ask me to do something, and I told
Mm,
them, "Oh man, guys, this is my bill. If you can't pay, please leave." So my son came and said, "Ah, mommy, these people aren't they government?" I said, "Yes." He said, "But you said God told you that anything they offer you should take. So why did you tell them that they cannot pay you what you're asking for? They should leave it." These children, they will just let you. So I called them back and I said, "What did you say is on the table?" They said, "This is what they have." I said, "Okay, take it and I'll be there." That was the first event I made green and I wore a white rose. I said, "I'm doing this in honor of the country as part of nation building and service to the development of the nation, not to collect, but to give." So from that 2015, 16, I started wearing green or white to government events. And then by 2017, it was like, why only government events? Anybody you're serving here is going toward the building of the nation. And I started adjusting in 2017. By 2018, I had 4 green dresses and 2 white dresses, and those are what I wore the whole year. And I cleaned out the rest of my wardrobe. I didn't wear makeup the whole year, January to December in 2018, because I wanted to purge myself for what the assignment is. That's the backstory.
wow. I,
I haven't looked back.
for the life of me, I just thought it was you were going to tell me something about personal branding. When you come in, you want to be remembered, and it's
Personal branding became a thing, say 4 years ago, and so that's people were now saying, "Is this your brand?" Initially I was like, "What do they mean by brand?" Because people always ask me, "Is this your brand?" I'm like, what do-" I'm like, so many people have asked me this. What do you mean? Is this your brand?
Can you
No,
imagine?
it had
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely nothing to do with my identity. It had to do with the mission of what I know
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
called for.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that I
It just
understand
reminds
personal
me,
branding, I'm like, oh wow, it's you see,
yeah,
win-win. When you work for God, He finds a way of settling you to. So He has also made
like
it a
go years
brand,
ahead.
right? He has gone steps ahead. I didn't need to
Yeah.
think about branding. I already had it. That was it.
Wow. Wow, that was a good story. That was a good story. I mean, that's why you're the queen of talk. You always know how to put in the story, like take us back, just tell a good, you just focus on the journey, right? And then thanks so much, Joyce.
Give me
And
one
my last
second. Let me pick
question
up
now
my
was,
charger.
okay, okay, sure.
Charger is here. Go ahead, my darling.
Okay, so my last question for you would be, what would need to change in the African event market among organizers, sponsors, and the ecosystem for African speakers to be routinely, or let's take out routinely, to be properly paid?
Time, time.
Time? Hmm.
That's all. We're already
Hmm.
on the journey.
Hmm.
These cell phones that we all have that are doing so many things were not there 24 years ago.
Hmm.
The cell phones we had 24 years ago could only make call and send text. They could do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing else. In 2007, when I started working, my phone could not snap picture.
Hmm.
It was not a photo phone. But here we are now discussing, I'm using a tab, right? Time. We're already on the journey. The innovation is in progress. So I'm not worried about anything about the future at all. It's time. Pregnancy is 9 months. No matter what you do, you wait 9 months. Somebody say, what will need to change for us to have this baby? You wait 9 months. You will wait 9 months. If you try to bring out this baby before then, it will be called an abortion or a miscarriage, and it could put the life of the mother and the child at risk. So, Auntie, I know you have heartburn. I know your back is aching. I know your feet are swelling. Sorry. Drink whatever you need to drink. Take cold water. Put extra pillows. Oh, you go wait this 9 months. And when it's
Wow.
9 months, truth to type, you don't need to do anything. Labor will start. Contractions will start. You are the one who will say, I feel like contractions have started. What did you do to make it start? Nothing. Nothing, not a darn thing. In 2026, there are still women in communities in Nigeria who give birth without a midwife. I was telling them yesterday or so that the woman who lived in our compound in Port Harcourt that year, she had a baby in her house by herself because that's all she saw with the women in the village. There were no midwives. They would birth themselves, cut their cord. They knew what to do. And she just came out in the morning, said, I born for night. So, oh God, she said, that's all. And they didn't do birth registration, birth certificates. That's why many of them couldn't tell you what day they were born. So
Hmm.
part of it was you had to do the birth registration to get the baby certificate. And they're like, wait till this one they talk. By that afternoon, she has started cooking food that she will eat. Her husband has gone to farm. What could she have done differently? That said, I would advocate that we continue to intentionally put one brick in front of the next toward where we want to go. In 2025, I started the Money Making Mouth Tribe, where I teach women exactly how to ask for money. From last year till now, we've had hundreds of women with receipts to show they've spoken at events where they had been speaking prior, but now they've earned $500, $800, $200,000 $2,000. Somebody sent me a voice note last week or 2 weeks ago that she's part of the tribe, that she was just telling some women at her home fellowship, I joined this tribe and this is what they say. And somebody in the meeting was saying, this certificate that I went to get, you guys, people in Lagos and Abuja, they charge based on this certificate. I'm the only one in South Nigeria who has it. I've never charged anybody for it. And she sent me a voice note to say, Joyce, that woman was paid 850,000 naira for that one training of 2 hours because of the certificate. If I didn't tell her what I had heard from the tribe, so you see, the journey has begun. The journey has begun. So I
Yeah.
now asked her, does she have a rate card yet? And she said, oh no, but now she has decided that she will put a document together. Let's just keep going with the building blocks on time.
Yeah.
Years from now, 10 years from now, we'll look back. You and I will have a session. We'll look back and go, see where we are. See where we are.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I have to just conclude by saying thank you so much, Joyce. Like, you're someone that we all respect in this industry. When we see Joyce on stage, we're like, this organization, they have money. Oh. I'm not like, because I manage event speakers. So I know when we're looking at, masses of ceremony, we're like, when we see a Joyce on stage, I'm like, these people, they definitely have the money. So I respect you and thank you. I mean,
Thank
your
you.
tribe, and I'm in the money making mouth
Yeah.
tribe. So I've seen the testimonies, I've seen the receipts. I was there at the first conference when you like urged this man to like ask for a fee, and he did, and it was mind blowing, and he actually got so. There's just like you said, I think that's also encouraging for me for because again I keep looking at what's done there, what's happening here, and there's just a lot of hey, God, there's so much work to do. I like the pressure, I like the passion, but I love the reminder that it takes time. We are not, we are eras apart, so we need to just keep building one brick after another. So thank you so much, Joyce. I don't know,
Most welcome.
yeah, if
Most
you have
welcome. I'm
any
glad
parting
you got
words.
this. We came with nothing. Everything you believe you want to do, you want to have, you want to be, just make sure that every day you are on the journey there. Anything you want to be, do, have, ensure that every single day you are on your journey there. The meeting I went for today, I drove 1 hour, 8 minutes there, and I drove 1 hour, 8 minutes back because that meeting is taking me closer to where I want to be,
Mm.
what I want to do, and what I want to have. So it was nothing to drive there. I would have gone there 10 times over because I want something. Somebody was like, why are you going to have the meeting in Keja? Couldn't you? I said, hey, don't ask me that nonsense question. I mean, they find something, I will go there. If I need to go under the rock to find it, I'll go under the rock. I will not keep waiting for things to come to me. I would go to where it is. So if we're going to live full, we're going to be following our heart's desires every day. I said, it came up on some level at my meeting today where she said I should go and really spend time with God and ask what God wants for me. And I said, I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. Let me tell you what guides me. God did not tell David to kill Goliath.
Mm.
David had a brain and he saw an animal moving around and he said, I've killed animals like this. It's just that this one is human, but I've killed things that were bigger than this, faster than this, slower than this. I'm not a soldier, I'm a killer. Two different things. If you
Mm.
needed a soldier to kill it, one of you would have killed him. What you needed was a killer. I am a
Mm.
trained killer. I have
Mm.
been killing for years out in the field. So the way this thing is moving, I mean, do you know how big a brown bear is or a black bear is? And David said, whenever a lion or a bear came, Goliath was not as big as a bear. Oh. David had killed bears.
Mm.
So to him, it was like, no biggie here. But the first question he asked, if you go read that story, the first question he asked was, what will be given to the person who kills this thing? So ask for your reward. Be clear about it and say, okay, then I'll kill it. It was after they told him what the reward would be, he now said, the God who gave me the strength to kill the lion and the bear will give me
Mm.
this one. He didn't start with God. So I'm saying this because part of the challenge I've seen with a lot of people around me is that they're waiting for God to, and I'm like, God is waiting for you. So with all due respect, ma, I'm not really going to go and wait on God because I already know that God is waiting on me. God never told Joseph that he was going to be great. Joseph had a dream, and by himself, he interpreted the dream. There was no God said. God never told Esther to join Big Brother to win husband. It was her desire to go into the house and fight it out to the end. In fact, it was not her desire, it was her cousin who told her and said to go, you go good though, if you walk. Look, and Esther's risk was so high. It was said clearly that if the king didn't choose you, you had to live in the harem the rest of your life. You couldn't even marry anybody else. That was such a risk. So take the risk. Go on the bridge and get it done. We came with nothing, we'll leave with nothing. So when we're here, let's do it all and leave it here. That's my closing take for today's conversation.
And it was powerful. It was powerful. I had good goosebumps. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Joyce. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And hey, I hope it was a great session for everyone. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. I will get to it because we are out of time. Thank you, Joyce,
Thank
and
you,
I
ma'am.
just hope you have a great rest of the
I
evening.
shall.
Have a all
More
right.
grace to you.
Bye.
Bless. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.